Hey, welcome to the Luxury Syndicate, where we embark on an exquisite journey to the heart of the luxurious world and share valuable financial life advice as well as entrepreneurial insights.
Do you have a classmate that laughs at you when you can't solve a calculus problem
And acts like he knows everything? I know it's irritating because he could have simply helped you, but instead, he'll mock you. Perhaps you run into your smart coworker crush during your lunch break and start chatting with her. Or maybe during your work meeting, you're ambiguous about the workflow and ideas, and people were like, huh? What the hell is she saying? I wish there was a magic spell we could all use to instantly make ourselves brighter. Oops! In this video, we will show you how to overcome this fear of facing people and not look dumb as we share helpful tips just for you. Tip number 1. Trust yourself and don't be too nervous. You allow others to trust you and the words you are saying more if you speak confidently. You should possess unique self-trust and only need to put in a little effort, self-love, and develop the capacity to look inward to be able to trust oneself. It would be simple to change the subject to another once you are familiar with the topic. Asking the other person a question that is just barely relevant to the current issue is the simplest approach to switching topics. By posing a connected question, you give them the opportunity to elaborate on the subject in which they obviously have an interest. Number 2. Tell the truth when you don't know the answer. People are sensitive to the emotions and actions of others by nature. If you try to appear to be very knowledgeable when you really don't know the answer to a certain question, someone will catch on and you will appear to be witless, and your ignorance will be shown. Instead of people saying wow to you, they will think that you're just a clout chaser. The truth is, if you have the confidence to admit it in public that you don't know something, it will make you appear brighter. You demonstrate humility by acknowledging your ignorance, which is a desirable quality among bright people. So you can gently stop a conversation if you don't understand what is being said. Number 3. Don't be too talkative. For instance, if you were talking politics with a friend, you would come across as intelligent when you shared pertinent information about the topic. In an argument, state your position and provide evidence to support it. Avoid imposing your viewpoint or criticizing others' positions. They would merely shut you out if you did that. Avoid being overly noisy in conversations by speaking only when you have something to share. A talkative person loses respect when he talks more than he knows. He talks more than people can accommodate, so they begin to disrespect him and he loses his honor. Number 4. Stay away from using deep jargon. Why should you employ academic jargon when even your old English professors these days prefer plain, simple, and direct language? It won't sound smarter to use dictionary words when speaking. The reality is, no one would have an extensive Oxford dictionary on hand. Therefore, you would most likely lose your audience interest. Don't try too hard. For example, you use the term pulchritudinous to describe the person you admire the most. Do you even think that she'll catch up to what you mean? Pulchritudinous means beautiful, so you could have said it in a simpler way rather than trying to impress her with this deep word that can't be comprehended by many. Remember when you wrote those college essays and used words that not even you could pronounce correctly? That was cringe. Tip number 5. Avoid being overly serious. Be cool and funny instead. An indication of a healthy brain is the capacity to think up jokes or sarcasm. You gain attention for yourself while also making others feel good by making jokes about yourself within reason. Self-depreciating humor is popular. You can still sound smart by being goofy. They'll credit you with those good sensations and start to regard you as a wise person. Tip number 6. Be attentive to others. You don't have to respond to everything they say, just speak up on issues you know about or about which you have strong feelings. Ask them questions and reflect back to them what they are thinking. You ooze intelligence. Being open-eared makes you speak a million words. Smart people, with the exception of braggarts, always listen more than they talk. As simple as it may sound, Being attentive is essential for giving the impression that you are smarter than you actually are. You understand what the speaker is saying more clearly when you listen. You can win them over by completing their sentences before they finish them. Number 7. Take pauses. Imagine an essay without any commas. How would it appear to readers? Well, if you ask me, of course, I won't understand the whole damn thing from long words. Get used to stopping a talk in the middle to collect your ideas. You'll benefit if you realize that remaining silent might actually make you appear more intelligent. The majority of us worry about leaving a good impression. You may ensure that your audience is paying attention by pausing to let your words sink in. It gets easier to control your nerves and speak more clearly once you have someone listening. Tip number 8. Learn more. Now, I'm not trying to convince you that you should read 5 books at once, but what about 1 piece per week? Keep your dullness at a more fragile level. To improve your vocabulary and reading comprehension, read lengthy articles and even listen to podcasts. Reading is both the simplest and most challenging way to sound intelligent at all times. Yes, it's challenging in our time where social media and video games have almost completely displaced books as the main source of amusement. There are a lot of distractions, really. But if you educate yourself, people will get interested in you and bring more opportunities to business. Go buy a book right after this video. Tip number 9. Slowly recite what was said by the last speaker. Folks, repetition helps strengthen the listener's memory. Speaking slowly will allow you to emphasize each phrase in the statement you made. However, such statements will probably be attributed to you instead of their true meaning for hours after that interaction. Making sure you understand the question again can aid in the process of answers. You might not have the answer right away, but as you ask the question again, your mind is working behind the scenes, giving you the extra time you might need to come up with a response. Number 10. Use fillers only when necessary. Fillers make the statement sound like a question, and it's not advisable if you want to sound intelligent at all times. These may undermine your trustworthiness and confidence. Imagine making a convincing recommendation to your board of directors while constantly inserting ums. Your argument would be undermined. We rely on them, sentences, phrases, and words that we rely on when we don't know who we are. We use them to provide context for our phrases, but this results in a disorganized message that undermines our credibility in the eyes of our audience. Uptalking, which is the practice of ending your sentences with a higher tone, is another behavior that gives the impression that we lack intelligence. Number 11. Use appropriate grammar. Others will attribute intelligence to you if you sound educated. If you lack excellent grammatical abilities, you can improve them by using online language tools and tutorials. Practice using proper grammar when you next chat with your friends to get better at it or to determine whether you need to work on it. Degree holders or not, we all have the capability to speak correctly. We just need to practice. You can't communicate in a social situation by learning the language's grammar and developing a solid command of it. Have some mercy on the person you're speaking to. Fix your grammar. Tip number 12. Ask more questions. It demonstrates that you are actively participating in the conversation and that you have an interest in the person and the topic. This method gives you access to the other person's feelings and opinions. Inquiring minds naturally want to learn and develop, so if you're curious and ask questions, you'll undoubtedly come off as bright. Ask those questions, pay attention to the answers, and don't be hesitant to ask follow-up questions. Number 13. Be confident without coming across as arrogant. Your audience will be able to tell if you lack confidence in yourself and what you're saying. Poor posture, such as slouching, gives you the appearance of either nervousness or feeling unwell. Even worse, you might come off as haughty or snooty. Good posture helps you to feel calm and confident on the inside and look calm and confident on the outside. It demonstrates high status, meaning the audience feels you have something worth listening to. Spend some time considering your posture and striving for proper balance. We express ourselves more clearly through our body language than through words. If your body language screams dullard, it will be difficult for your words to come across as clever. Maintaining a straight and good body posture allows you to breathe easily and project your voice. Tip number 14. Carry out your study. Learning is thriving. Without curiosity and research, progress would slow to a halt, and our lives as we know them would be completely different. Being an expert on the subject you were discussing is unsurpassed. This advice is especially relevant in academic settings. It will be much simpler to sound clever while speaking with colleagues and peers when you have a project or must attend a seminar if you read up on similar issues. Conduct some research on the necessary topics and attend simply because you will be intelligent. Number 15. Use active sentences. The use of affirmative statements is favored by experts for a reason. Using these phrases gives you an air of authority and demonstrates your subject matter expertise, enhancing your appearance of intelligence. Affirmations not only give you a sense of confidence, but they also help you project that confidence. In formal writing, academic writing, and even conversation, the active voice is generally chosen. It is regarded as being more direct and frequently makes words simpler to comprehend. The active voice tends to come more effortlessly to most individuals, even in everyday discourse. Again, a lengthy, informative video, huh? Even if not all of us have the same intelligence, we may still leave a positive impression on others by following the advice in this video. Only with effort and projection does it matter. Smart people have strong and distinctive linguistic brands, can communicate concisely and clearly, and sound authoritative but approachable. You can do all of these things by using the advice we have provided, so trust me and yourself. Which of our tips did you like the most for communicating with others better and sounding witty? Let us know in the comment section. And if you guys did enjoy watching this, then make sure to hit the like button, and I would appreciate you subscribing to see more about fine living and luxurious life inspirations. This is the Luxury Syndicate. We'll see you on our next travels.